Yo, man, what's going on, man? What is going on? Um, Late night vibes, man. Late night vibes. It's the first time today that I've actually been free to just sit down, man. Sit down and chop it up with the people. Them, um, whether you're watching this live, yeah, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this obviously on the replay, it doesn't really matter, man. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you'll catch this when you catch it, man. When you catch it. Yeah, yeah, really. I just wanted to kind of ramble and waffle. I'll be super honest with you because I've been seeing a lot of content, a lot of content recently. Has been popping up obviously on like the timelines, and I'm seeing some of the stuff that some of the guys are doing. Big up to them, shout out to them. Some of the stuff that um I just see just floating around just on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? In a general sense, and I can't lie, it's kind of garbage. It's kind of garbage, man. Um, where do I even begin? So, one of the things I've been thinking about, yeah, right, is obviously bare people been asking me about, like football and like, the whole like, some of the content and stuff like that. And obviously, I think I spoke last time when I did a live, and I spoke about how I wanted to, do like different types of content. And I think one of the things that I wish that content creators would do, and it's never going to happen, but one thing I wish is that we'd all just kind of come together, especially in the football, I'm talking in the football content world. We would all come together and maybe start thinking of some ideas as to how to make this better, how to grow the football kind of content industry. Because right now, just like the game, and we're going to talk, there's like kind of like three parts to this, right? So we'll talk about this part first. The content world is it's just boring as hell. Like, I don't know, some of you may agree, you may disagree. Obviously, we've all got like our favorites that we watch. And listen, we all spend a long time like on YouTube anyway. And I'm not talking about content creators, I'm talking just you as an individual. You spend a lot of time on YouTube, you spend a lot of time, you know, just consuming content, even TikTok, Instagram, wherever, Twitch, people go on, Twitter. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we consume so much time, and I just don't want that time to be wasted with just garbage. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's almost like frustrating me because listen, I'm just one guy who doesn't have that many subscribers. And shout out to the ones who have subscribed to this channel, man. Big up to yourselves. But I'm just a small part of a bigger picture, so to speak. And obviously, this isn't really up to anyone. I don't want to be like put this onto any of the big football channels out there. Um, I don't necessarily believe in like a duty of care type of situation because I don't really think it's that. I do just think it's more about surely you yourself when you're looking at some of the content that you're putting out and some of the things that you're speaking about, surely you can see like this, what it's like, right? And listen, I might go off on enough tangents, but it's like when people talk about AI slop, right? So the typical kind of garbage that as soon as you watch it, it's AI, but it's not really. It's poorly constructed. It's the voice itself as well is just it's just everything's poorly done, right? And you can just see it's AI, whether it's an animation, whether it's supposed to be real, whatever the case may be, it's just poorly done, right? And that's how I'm viewing the football kind of content world at this moment in time, is that it's almost just like slop. You know what I mean? At this moment in time, in terms of the content that's being kind of put out, it's very generic, it's very samey, it's very boring. It's everything's kind of like just like monotone. Or and even when people try to over exaggerate, or when people try to do the clickbait stuff. And listen, I'm not here to question anybody doing so. Like, I mean, we all got to eat ultimately, but even that has become kind of shit. Before, it used to actually be pretty decent. It used to actually be pretty good, and you would hook viewers in, and that's the whole point. For those who don't know, for those who don't do YouTube, that's the reason why your favorite content creators will have certain titles and certain thumbnails. The reason being is so that they can hook you as a viewer in, right? It's all about analytics, all about CTR, which means the click-through rate. It's all about you know, your keywords, your SEOs. You know, it's all about all that kind of stuff. That's why us as content creators, that's why we do some of the things that we do, is so that we can almost draw you in as a viewer, right? Not a problem. We understand what we're doing. You understand what you're doing in terms of watching it and stuff like that. I think everyone's got that level of understanding. But right now in the football world, and obviously this goes on to like kind of like the next point that I was going to talk about, but in the football world, we've just reached almost like a standstill. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened, but in the last, I would say maybe even like the last like 3 years, if I'm being super honest. And I know that's a long time, but I would say like in the last like 3 years, but especially like this 25, 26, I've noticed it a lot more with some of the content that's kind of being pushed out. Obviously, where I deal a lot more with like Liverpool fans and stuff like that. So I see quite a lot of what they're obviously trying to do. So you try to branch out, you try to see like different things, you try to watch, you know, different kind of contents. And obviously there's different stuff out there. You got your filthy fellas and stuff like that, which is, yeah, again, pretty decent. But even that, I feel like has almost just kind of hit a standstill, you know, in terms of the kind of conversations that are kind of necessarily being had. And that's nothing against them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't actually, in terms of the content, where I put some blame on us as content creators, don't get twisted, we need to be doing, and I include myself, I'm not exempt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not special, but we need to do better in terms of the type of content that we're putting out. Because for viewers, I'm very surprised that people are still drawing in quite a lot of viewers, because I'm like, what, you like, this is good for you? You know what I'm saying? Like we're not even really turning up to work anymore. We're not even putting in that same work that we was putting in before, when the content was really good and it was really hitting a high. Now listen, just like anything in life, when you go to the gym and whatnot, you hit this wall. You hit this wall where it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm here now, you know, kind of thing. Like, how can I push myself to obviously get better, kind of thing. I just don't feel like a lot of the content creators are really doing enough to try and push past that wall. Again, things may change, and if they do, fantastic. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be great. But at this moment in time, I'm not really seeing that in itself, in terms of people trying to push themselves past that kind of threshold of just it being boring, it being the same. And you know, I mean, if you guys just even go online yourselves, right, and you go and you go and check out, you go on YouTube, just type football or whatever kind of thing, and you see the kind of content that's just even out. I bet, obviously, I don't know if there's even any football, and again, we'll get onto that in a second. But if there's any football tonight, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see majority will be watch-alongs. Obviously, that's just part and parcel, obviously, of just the trade of being a YouTube or football YouTuber, right? You do quite a lot of people will do watch-alongs. But even some of the watch alongs, and I know, listen, I might be biased, but I feel like Savage's watch alongs are actually good, because it's not necessarily about the watch along in itself. It's almost like an actual show. Whereas with other people in their watch alongs, it's very boring. It's you are sat there watching a next dude watch the same thing that you're watching. It's almost like what I cuss about, not even cuss, but what I laugh at my son for. My son is 6 years old. He sits there. He's got Minecraft on his Nintendo Switch, but he sits there, watches the next dude playing the same game that you're playing. In my mind, I can't wrap my head around that. To me, that sounds dumb. It sounds dumb. Like, just for anybody who watches watch-alongs, right? Just think about what that even means. Big up, Paul, man. Like, just think about what you're doing, right? You as a grown adult, right? You're not a child, yeah? You as a grown adult, you sit there and you watch a next person watching the same thing that you're watching. What? I don't like. Bear in mind, it's not like it's different. You know, it will be different, yeah. If if obviously copyrights and stuff like that, of course, but it'll be different if YouTube allowed us to be able to show you the game, and we could all sit there and you can. That will be so much more, like, so different, so different, right? I would understand that, but we can't. So at least my son is watching the game. You get what I'm saying? Like, at least he gets to watch the game itself being played. You're sat there watching the next dude. Like, honestly, it boggles my mind when I see people, like, I see some of the chats, and you know, you're just skimming through YouTube or whatever. and sometimes I'll pop into like, you know, I'll pop into like different chats and different conversations, and I'll see certain things, and I'll be like, there's so many people here, and they're just conversating. And I guess, listen, it might be like a social thing. It might actually just be a big up, Trudon. It might be like a social thing. It might just be something just whereby, you know, you're just there. I don't know, maybe your best friend on YouTube is on at the same time, and you're both not really. It might be that. I don't know. And I'm gonna start doing surveys. I'm gonna really start doing some surveys, because I really want to understand. And obviously, this is for myself really more than anything, to be able to get better as a content creator and to put out better content for you as viewers, and for any new subscribers and the old subscribers, the guys who've been rocking with me, like people here, Trudon, Paul, you know what I mean, Scraps, Honesty. There's various other. I'll be here all day if I listed everybody. But to everybody who just watches the channel, it's so that I can also improve. Like, you guys tell me what it is. What would you like to see? Do you know what I mean, on the channel a bit more? What's the type of content you'd rather see? Do you get what I mean, on the channel? Let me read this quickly. Paul, I agree with you, G. Today's football isn't great to watch. It's so boring that I've been falling out of love with the game I was deeply in love with since the age of 5, since 2016. We're gonna get onto that, bro. Definitely. I've got about 5 years or so left with football, I think. Don't see myself in my 40s caring like that. It's trash enough. Trudon, again, we'll get onto that in a sec. We'll get onto that in a sec. But yeah, as I said, just to kind of wrap up like the content part of it. Like I said, us as viewers, and maybe you know, I guess someone's always got to be the outspoken one. There's always got to be looked at as the loud one. There's always got to be looked at as the troublesome one. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I guess I don't mind being that person. I really don't. And like I said, I'm a small channel. I'm just a small boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a small boy, just trying to kind of, you know, run his rhythm and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, I think it's just one of those kind of things whereby, yeah, I think we need to be holding some of these content creators accountable, for some of the content that they're obviously putting out, especially within even just within the conversations themselves. We need to be holding them to a bit of a, almost like the same way we hold certain players to a higher level. We need to be holding some of these content creators to a higher level. Ultimately, you're out there putting out information. You're out there, you know, putting your narrative across in a certain way, the same way people diss someone like a Jamie Carragher, the same way people will diss someone like a Gary Neville and all these other kind of pundits when they're on there, and all they're doing is exactly the same thing that we're doing, which is just putting out our opinion and obviously our own narrative, our own agenda kind of thing. And we're always getting on to them, and how could you say such things, and da 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 da, and this, that. No. Content creators, we need to be also held accountable as well. You know what I'm saying? Again, myself included, I've got to be held accountable. Can't just be out here talking about this or having certain conversations about that. Like, surely, so are you people not bored? Like, it's boring. It's boring. Like obviously, moving on. Like obviously, I didn't watch any football this weekend. Didn't watch none whatsoever. Don't like. I watched Sky Sports highlights of all the games. No, that's a lie. Of 2 games. Arsenal versus Spurs, or Spurs versus Arsenal, and the Man City versus Newcastle game. That was the only 2 games that piqued my interest when I saw it this weekend, right? I was busy anyway, but regardless, right? I watched that, and obviously, you know, Sky Sports, they do like their 3.5 minute kind of highlights and stuff like that. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I get the gist of the game. I understand kind of United won 1-0 versus Everton. Oh, they won. Oh, fucking hell. That's mad. So I guess Liverpool are. Did Chelsea win this weekend? Because it was obviously, it would be Chelsea and United obviously ahead of Liverpool. So if Chelsea won, I see that obviously Liverpool won 1-0. But yeah, even just to that, right? So obviously I've gone on the timeline. I think I went on there on the Monday this morning. I've gone on the timeline. It was Sunday night, but then I've looked on it properly like on the Monday morning, right? And I'm just having a look just to kind of catch up, because obviously we haven't watched any football. I'm just trying to catch up to see, almost just to stay in the loop. You know what I mean? I don't want to be too out of the loop and not really understand what's kind of Chelsea drew with Burnley. Oh, okay, cool. So they drew. Thank you, Trudon. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of see what was going on in the football space, right? So obviously, mainly it's going to come out with Liverpool stuff, and then obviously once that's kind of filtered out, I can go on to the rest of it. So one of the main things, obviously, I saw with Liverpool. Obviously, I noticed that Liverpool scored a last-minute winner. So I didn't watch the games. I don't know how good or bad they played, but judging by the way that everybody spoke about it, Liverpool played shit. Nothing new. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's no, I don't need to go on about that in itself, right? But some of the things that I was seeing, like I put out a tweet today, and obviously one of the things that I've been seeing quite a lot in the last, would I say, couple of days is, you know, a lot of people obviously getting on to like say a Gakpo and a Salah, and I'm assuming Rio came on and did well because that was something that I saw bare people speaking about. So I tweeted, all I tweeted was, you can tell as a fan base, you must be in the pits of hell if you're arguing about who's shitter, yeah, Gakpo or Salah. Like you know, like you like it must be bad for you as a fan, right? When you're arguing over who's worse, Gakpo or bruv, they're both shit. That's the end of discussion. They're both shit. There isn't any more of a conversation to be had. We don't need to. I'm seeing a thesis done on Gakpo. I'm seeing a dissertation done on Mohamed Salah. I'm like, guys, they are both whack. They're both whack. We know they're whack. We know. But that's where people have gotten to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then it's the same old conversation. Liverpool were dead. Da 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 da. Yeah, they won again. Blah blah blah. It's just boring. It's just recycled. It's just on and on and on. And I'm just like, guys, are we not bored of having the same conversation? It has to be boring at this point. Like, as in, that's why I don't watch the games, because I'm like, why am I gonna be bored? I know what's gonna happen. I know exactly how it's gonna pan out. How it pans out is exactly how it seemingly panned out, which is Liverpool play shit. They probably end up winning the game or just not losing the game. And then we come on the timeline, we complain about Liverpool being shit, players being dead, but then obviously getting the wins and yada yada. We do this every game, every single game. Been doing it for God knows how long, right? Now that's just Liverpool. I'm then looking at like the rest of the Premier League, and this is good. Let's say we'll start from, you know, you just wait. We'll start from say like at the beginning of this season, right? And you look at it and you're just like, some of the football that you're watching this season, like, oh my god, it's so terrible, bro. Like it's actually so terrible. And you can call it nostalgia bias, right? And I've got no problem with that. It is what it is, right? Then I'm just biased towards that. But I sit there and sometimes I look and I think to myself, what's mad is that, you know, like usually we'll use last season, right? Last season, one of the things that everyone always likes to talk about is the fact that nobody was speaking about PSG prior to them, like let's say prior to January of last year, right? Nobody was speaking about PSG before that, right? In the 2024, from the September period of time. Obviously, they finished in the playoff positions in the Champions League, even though they're doing well in other competitions, but in the Champions League weren't doing that well, blah, 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 right? And then they go on to win the Champions League, playing brilliant football, yada, yada, yada. We all love them. They got great players, all that, right? Cool. Last season, I think I only felt that there was only PSG and Barcelona who were playing like exciting football. Nobody else was really that exciting to watch. You got your few other teams, yeah. You got your teams that you respect. You know what I mean? Like you got teams that just in the general sense you just respect them. Like, oh yeah, yeah, I like this team, and yeah, yeah, this whatever. But you like realistically, there was only two teams that you watched last season, and you were like, oh, okay, cool. These are the two teams that I'm actually enjoying watching: PSG and Barcelona. Hence why everybody wanted to see a PSG versus Barcelona final, because we felt like that would have at least just been good for football to see two teams of that kind of quality. Lamine Yamal versus the Dembélés, Rafinha versus the Kvaratskhelia, and this, that, and the third. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Vitinha versus Pedri. Like that would have been a really good match to watch. Instead, we got a shitty fucking final. Inter Milan, who are absolutely pants, versus PSG, who just absolutely dog walk them, you know, in terms of just winning the game, right? Cool, whatever. But in general, last season, Liverpool ended up, obviously talking about Premier League, Liverpool ended up winning the league. I said last season, I felt like Liverpool were dead last season. I didn't think they were good at all. I'm just saying that they were just madly consistent. But I didn't think they were good. And I kept saying it, kept saying it, kept saying it. Cool. We now fast forward to obviously to this season. Same thing is being kind of said again. Nobody's really enjoying the football. No one's really and forget even just from a Liverpool perspective. Let's take ourselves out of that. We're just looking at just from a footballing perspective. It's even I feel like it's even worse this season. Like I look at Arsenal and listen, I think Arsenal have an absolutely brilliant team. I really do. Like, you know me, I don't do the bias stuff. So when I say I feel that Arsenal are good, I feel like they are a really good team. Do you get what I'm saying? They got really, really good players. They got a solid unit. You know, and just the way that they're going about things, it's this. You know, it's very, very consistent, right? And I actually think they actually do have a good team. I think they could actually play better, but they're just listen. You ain't won a league in 20 odd years. Right now, you're just trying to win that league. I get it. I fully understand and I fully get it, right? But even them, I look at them and I'm just like, do they give you the air of or that feeling of like, yeah, this is gonna and listen, we never know, right? No one's psychic, but do they give you that feeling of a team that's gonna be able to just be successful for a long period of time? Liverpool didn't give us that last season. We know no one sat there and thought, yeah, Liverpool gonna dominate for you. I mean, if you did, more for you, because that was never gonna happen. But cool. I'm gonna go with in my mind. Most people didn't really think that. Yeah, even after the summer, I didn't think Liverpool were ever gonna dominate like that. They're not a good, no good team like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no good team like that. They only have that many good players as you think they do. Don't have a good manager, so it was never gonna work in this in the way that you think it would. Whereas Arsenal actually do really actually have a really really good team. They got a really really good manager. Whether they can go on is a question to be remained. That then comes down to your own mentality and stuff like that. So we'd have to wait and see. We could be saying that their shit come next season. Who knows? But we'll wait and see with that. And obviously, Manchester City have got Pep Guardiola. So again, that's another thing to kind of worry about. But I look at Arsenal, even them, and obviously that's the team this season, right? There's always a new team every single year that that people just kind of jump towards, and everyone's saying the bet. I think the one of the things I saw or heard on Talksport was the Tottenham manager calling Arsenal the best team in the world. And listen, if they're the best team in the world this year, then they're the best team in the world this year. I'm not here to discredit or argue with that. But do they give you that feeling? Like do they even give you a PSG feeling? You know, like when we watch PSG towards the back end of last season, they at least gave you that feeling of like, they could eat, they could. I mean, they could. By the way, they still could do this, right? Big up Covenant. They could still go back to back in the Champions League. Let's not act like it's not a possibility. And if they do, I wouldn't be surprised. But do Arsenal give you that feeling? Like, do you? Obviously, I'm not an Arsenal fan, and Arsenal fans might sit there and say, yeah, which they would do because they're quite delusional. But I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't know. I don't get that feeling with Arsenal. I don't look at them and think, oh, yeah, this is a team that's going to be able to dominate for years. And this is a team that's going to, whatever kind of thing. And if they do, I feel like there's going to have to be a lot of caveats to that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like other teams just not really doing that well, not really up to par kind of thing. Not really having challenges, so to speak. Like how, say, a Manchester City would have had like a Liverpool and, et cetera, et cetera. But cool, if they do it, then they do it. They don't care. You shouldn't care as a fan. Ultimately, it's just more about the enjoyment in itself. But they don't give me that feeling. And I'm looking around football, and they really. That's why you don't really see. I'm not doing that many videos on other teams. There's not really anybody else. I mean, everybody knows I love Barcelona, but fucking hell, man, even they've been boring me this season. I watched a game the other day. It might have been against, was it Girona? I can't remember, but Barcelona played the other day, and I'm seeing Lamine Yamal like tripping over the ball, and he just looked like I don't know, man. When it just didn't look right. Like I was literally sitting there, literally, I can't remember what game it was, and I literally sat there and I said, like, rah, you know what's mad? Like, I'm usually like when I'm not watching Liverpool and stuff like that, yeah, I prefer like obviously Barcelona will be the next thing. So I'll sit there and watch Barcelona because I like watching like good football. Do you get what I'm saying? But then I'm sitting there watching Barcelona. I'm like, bruv, you lot are even, obviously not worse than Liverpool. You're way better than Liverpool, but even you're like I'm not even really feeling it with you lot. Crystal Palace, bruv, I don't even know what you're on right now. Usually, even Crystal Palace, I like that escape of like it's not a big team, so it's a bit different in terms of the energy towards them and stuff like that. Even them, I'm watching them, I'm just like, oh my lord, do you get what I'm saying? And then you're just looking at it from that kind of landscape, and I'm just like, yeah, like football in a general sense, I'm telling you, it is in the mud right now. It is so in the mud. And that goes back to originally what I was talking about in terms of, you know, the football content and stuff like that. Ultimately, because I don't think enough people can gate, like, can muster up enough ideas, because I don't think people have enough ideas in within their kind of arsenal. So their content is obviously very much tied to what goes on in the football world, right? Fair enough, not a problem. But because it's tied to that, if that's shit, your content is shit. It literally goes hand in hand. That's the only way it kind of works. Hence why I'm trying to like, I want the football, and this is me crying out for it. Like I said, I'm a small boy with a small channel, so it won't reach people in that kind of way. So I guess this is for viewers to just keep pushing this kind of narrative out. But I want you guys to do better, because obviously, surely you can see that football is kind of shit right now. It's not that good. It's not enjoyable. The way it's being packaged at this moment in time is absolutely horrible. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So surely, you know what? We've got to give the viewers something. We've got to do a bit more, you know, within our kind of within our kind of space, you know, in terms of what we can and can't really do, because clearly what we're watching isn't good enough. So surely we can do something to be able to give back almost to, you know, the subscribers and stuff like that, you know, kind of thing. So yeah, there's obviously that side of it. Obviously, listen, look, football on Twitter, like, or football Twitter, should I say, that is what it is ultimately. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that is always going to be that kind of volatile, and it is what it is. Now I just go on there to just have banter now. Do you get what I'm saying? I prefer to do that, because the reality is you can't take that too serious. You shouldn't take it seriously at all, to be honest with you. Hence why when I see players like, yeah, social media, I'm like, bro, I think you grow some balls, bro. Grow some balls. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like the abuse and stuff. That's a bit different. I'm just talking, but even well, abuse, no. Criticism, yeah, like that's calm. You get what I'm saying? You should expect it. Within your field, you're there to be scrutinized ultimately, especially if you don't win. If you're not winning, you're going to be scrutinized. Why didn't you win, etc., etc. But yeah, I think it's just more about, like, say, the abuse side of things. But everything else, I'm like, yeah, this is just typical Twitter conversations. Do you get what I'm saying? And again, I almost feel like the Twitter conversations are then coming to the content world. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because you're taking what you're seeing people talk about on Twitter, which is cool, but then you're almost packaging it the same way, kind of thing. And the problem is the two are not the same. What you can say and do on Twitter has to be constructed in a completely different way when you then take it to online. And I feel like people are not able to really do that. They almost try to have that Twitter conversation on a stream like this. And I'm just like, well, that doesn't make sense, because you can't really do that here. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the whole point is people love the was it the anonymity and the anonymous thing. Yeah, they like the fact that they don't have to show their face. Profile pic is of a player. I don't know who that brother is, or who that female is, or who that person is in general. Could even be a bot. Do you get what I'm trying to say? People like that. Whereas you come on the screen right now, this is me talking to you. This is me bait face. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not hiding behind. I don't need to anyway, but I'm not hiding behind anything. Even my Twitter thing is not even a picture of me. It's my logo. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So again, it's like, if you didn't know me and you didn't watch any of my content and you just saw me commenting somewhere, you'll just think I'm another one of these. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's the same thing. Solely because you know I do YouTube and I do content, that you see my face, because I don't mind like showing my face. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm here to be scrutinized. I've been scrutinized. You guys who have been rocking with me for time know this already. So yeah, man, like I say, let's hold some of these content creators accountable. Let's have better conversations. And content creators, let's have better conversations, man. Please, let's have better conversations. These conversations are too fucking boring, bro. I don't want to partake in these conversations anyway. But when I see them, I'm just like, bro, like, surely this, it's just bad. It's just bad. And I just think right now, the football content world is just in the pits. Football itself is just in the pits, and we need something to be done about it. I don't know how the football world can like, I don't know how football can change it, because ultimately it's not the football world's problem that the quality of players is what it is today. And I know Paul's obviously talking about that there in the chat, about the quality of players. The quality of players in today's football is substandard. There are very few players that excite me in terms of getting you out of your seat by, you know, producing a touch of brilliance that takes your breath. And I think I can't remember if I can find the tweet, I will put it up. But someone tweeted something along that kind of lines today in terms of what you now you don't have many specialists. It's everyone's just it's like a generalist kind of thing, and we've got more generalists than specialists. Whereas back in the day, you probably had more specialists than you did generalists, kind of thing. So obviously you understood that, yeah, where you've got a. I'm even trying to think of not even like a bad boy player, but let's say a player like you even had like a Paolo Di Canio, for example, right? Someone of that kind of quality ilk, right? Now, obviously, Sheffield Wednesday, West Ham, and whatnot. Now, he was generally a really really good player anyway, right? And I think he could have actually played for better teams, um, if he just worked on him like his own personality and stuff like that. But let's just use him as an example. Now, he ain't no Ronaldinho, he ain't no whatever kind of thing, but he's mad. He might even be the wrong person, but you know what I mean. He's got that kind of quality that he probably could have played for one of the top teams back then, not West Ham. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I look at someone like him. Do you think that's the kind of now? Obviously, we've got those kind of players now, but even those kind of players at that kind of level weren't making no top teams like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like we had more of those type of players than we do now. Like I can't really think of a player like that now. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you can use an equivalent, like you said, like a Semenyo or something like that. But he's obviously at Man City now. But even then, I'm like, you know, like someone like a Semenyo, and big up to Semenyo. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, I'm using you as an example, right? But even like someone like him, I'm thinking, oh, is that like the like that kind of level is kind of meaty. But you know when it's the only thing out there, so you kind of have to just go with what's obviously just available. And again, it's not the team's fault. I don't blame Manchester City for signing him, and Semenyo has done well since joining Manchester City. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So there is that, and who knows? He could obviously prove to be someone who turns into this just world class, whatever. No, I'm not trying to diss him, but you know, like that's the kind of thing that maybe he's more closer to like a Paolo Di Canio, someone who could play at the top level, right? I'm trying to think of like other players who like they weren't no top player like that, but they were a good player. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Whereas now I just feel like everyone's all on the same kind of level. Yeah, you've got your Pedris and stuff like that, and you got your Vitinhas in the Premier League. I'm trying to think, man. I don't rate none of these Premier League midfielders like that, to be fair. But yeah, I'll use Pedri and Vitinha, right? You got like those kind of quality players, but then you got like people like Elliot Anderson, and I feel like people put Elliot Anderson on this like crazy pedestal. I'm not saying they put them on Pedri and Vitinha level, but you know, like people talk about Elliot Anderson like this is like the great hope or something. I'm just like Elliot Anderson, even Adam Wharton, and I fucks with Adam Wharton, but even him, like that's the kind of quality that we've got that we're looking at, and we're like, yeah, yo, this brother is on like crazy. I'm like, fucking it, man. Like, football is really Scott McTominay went over, and listen, big up to Scott McTominay because I think what he did was amazing. And listen, I don't rate the Italian league. I think it's a shit league, but cool, he did what he did, right? But you know, like he's gone to Italy. Man, just first season, it's man just best player in the league. What? Where did that even like? Who are you? Now, again, big up to you for doing so. I'm not trying to discredit you for doing that because you did it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Got onto the Ballon d'Or list. You know what I'm saying? And he was playing like well, I guess. You know, like I look at him and think, well, this is this guy? Like this, right? Okay, cool. So, all right, cool. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know what to even say. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's the quality of football right now, is just bare mishy mashy kind of players. And 1 minute this player is hot. 1 minute everyone's calling Cole Palmer the best thing since sliced bread. Now this brother, people call him shit. Saka, same thing. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, Saka's not that good, apparently. Like it's weird, man. It's weird. And I just think because the quality of football is where it is, the content is also where it is. So all you see now, panel shows having the same tired, musty conversation kind of thing every single fucking week, and you're just like, bruv, this is boring. Then if you even then go into like club to club kind of things, like club to club content, you look at like some of the content that these fans of other clubs are doing, And obviously in your mind, you're hoping that like, oh, okay, it's going to be a little bit different because it's of like, I don't know, a team that you maybe don't follow, or like a Spurs or whatever. It's the same thing. It's literally all done the same thing, just for a different club. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. So that's why someone, that's why, you know, if anybody wants to be an outlier right now, oh my God, I think you would absolutely eat. Hence why I'm trying to do, you know, listen, I want to eat too. So I'm trying to do different types of content. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to, you know, the stories, and I'm trying to do all of that kind of stuff. Because I was like, yeah, you know what? There's a gap, you know what I mean, in the market for something just a little bit different. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. It could just be anything. And this is just more of an advice to anybody even trying to do YouTube. If you can, you know what I'm saying, come in right now, because the football YouTube is kind of whack right now. So if you can come in and do something different, ooh, I feel like you'll go to the moon. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just because, you know, it will just be that, you know. So yeah, man, it's that, man. It's that. But listen, I've waffled for 35 minutes as it is. I'll read some of these comments, and then yeah, I might just head out, man. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to waffle. I can't even lie, man. I just wanted to waffle. I just wanted to waffle, man. If anyone feels offended by it, go suck your mother for it. I care, man. I don't actually really care, to be honest with you. That's kind of your own business, and you just got to do better. Do you get what I'm saying? You just got to do better. When you're talking about that, like I say, don't confuse Twitter with real conversations and stuff like that, because the two are not the same. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The way that people talk on Twitter isn't the same way that people obviously talk here when we're talking about certain things. So yeah, La Liga is where quality football can be seen. Yeah, I agree that there is some. The thing is, like, I like Como, Cesc Fabregas is Como. I feel like what they're doing over there, obviously Italy, I think is still dead, but he's doing something a bit different, or the way his teams are playing. But then again, it just reminds me of was it Bologna? Was it Bologna or Genoa? One of the two, man. The one that Thiago Motta was managing. It just reminds me of that season. So whether he can continue doing that, I don't really know. The quality of everything entertainment-wise seems down. Not just football, movies, TV, music were better years ago. Humanity has peaked. 100% true, them. 100%. Listen, me and Savage have had this conversation before about music and stuff like that. If you went onto my phone right now, let me really see. You go into my phone. What was I just? I literally just came back, right? So let me see what I was just listening to. Get up off my back. Do, 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 do. So I was actually listening to Central C. You got that new tune. I saw, well, I'm gonna assume it's new anyway. Unless I just never heard of it. But what's it called? Slaughter and the Iceman Freestyle. Those are the two things that I was listening to. Like, I just had them on repeat for time. Cause I was like, okay, I like, especially if I like a tune or whatever, I'll listen to it for quite some time, and I just like to keep playing it over and over and over again, right? So I was listening to those two tunes, but then prior to that, it was 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. 50 Cent, his first tape. This was just like a single. The Ghetto Quran, Tupac, Biggie, Central C again, Drake, Dave, Fabulous. None of these are new tunes, by the way. Like, what else was it? What else? Well, that's the last. Well, that was like in the last kind of batch, because I was listening to like a Drake playlist. Yeah, yeah, literally that. Yeah, that's it. If I can think of, yeah, the last, let's say in the last like 24 to 48 hours, that's the kind of the only music I was actually listening to. So you're right. Movies, bro, don't even get me started, bro. Don't even get me started. That's a whole different conversation in itself, because movies are fucking trash. They are trash. Like, you get your odd one that you'll find on Netflix, but then Netflix has become its own problem. As good as it is in theory, what Netflix is and what it done for when it came in, it's created its own problem, because now, again, just like football content, just like what we see on YouTube, you're just putting out slop now. So bare slop, just bare nonsense is just being put out just on on Netflix in itself, and you're just like, bruv, trying to weed through all of these. That's why I just watch anime. I promise you, all I watch is anime. I don't watch anything else. It's whack. I don't care what none of these people could. Yeah, watch this show. I don't want to watch this show. I don't. It's probably gonna have about 3 good episodes, and the rest are just gonna be garbage. Then it's gonna finish because all of these things are usually like 1 season, 2 at max, kind of thing. Or if it's longer than 2 seasons, the third and fourth season are usually kind of dead. I think no, tell her that I watched Night Agent the other day only because I watched the first 2 seasons. I thought Night Agent was meh. It was all right. Do you get what I'm saying? I like the first season. I like the second season. This third season was a bit meh, kind of thing. Like it's just one of them things, man. It's one of them things. Football YouTube is so oversaturated. Rehash shows with the same people. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying, man. We just need something else, Trudon, bro. Like we need something else, man. Like it just things have just got to be done differently. It's just got to be done differently, man. We need to see like different kind of football content. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Again, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to do everything I possibly can. You know what I mean? In order for to just help towards that. Even listen, like I said, I'm a small channel, so even if that then means a bigger channel, which is what usually happens, by the way, if you guys didn't already know, is a lot of these bigger channels will look at what the smaller channels are doing because they like the idea and they know they've got the budget, they've got the means, they've got the facilities to be able to upscale that into something a lot better, and it can be packaged a lot better. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Whereas we as smaller creators can't really do that, which is fine. Ultimately, we're doing it whatever we wish we could be in that position, but we can only do it up to a certain kind of like a certain kind of threshold kind of thing, right? Whereas they can obviously take that, copy it, and make it bigger, better, whatever. Same exact same idea, same everything, but it's just one of those kind of things. So yeah, I don't know, man. We just got to be so much better, bro. Because honestly, it's just rubbish. Like, how many watch-alongs can you people watch? Like, are they good? For those who watch, watch-alongs, what's great about it? I would love to know. And I'm talking about from all content creators. I don't like whoever, just yeah. Like, what's great about their watch-alongs? What's so great about like transfer shows, especially when you're not even in a transfer season? But cool. What's so great about those? What's so great about just dumb conversations that you have every single day, every single week about the same player, about the same thing over and over and over again? Surely it just gets boring. Like, even just, even if you don't even like a manager, a player, or whatever, aren't you just bored about talking about that? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, aren't you just bored about that? Big up, ends. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I don't know. I guess us as consumers, we're also part of the problem. I think maybe that might just be it as well. We're part of that issue because we're just like, I've got Netflix. I've got a Netflix account. I was literally just watching it earlier on. Well, more so because My Hero Academia was on there. But once it finished with the seasons, I then moved on to like another season, which wasn't on Netflix. I had to find somewhere else to watch it. But yeah, maybe I'm part of the problem too. Do you get what I'm saying? Netflix and Prime killed cinema. People would rather watch bullshit from home than go out. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'll be so honest. Like, if like you can't get into the, I say you can't. Who am I? I'm not a finance guy, right? But it doesn't seem prudent to get into the cinema business or the cinema industry right now. In fact, it doesn't even make sense for you to push your movie out for cinema. What I am seeing quite a lot though is that more so with, like, obviously you already know I've got a child in it, so I'm seeing with a lot of kids movies, what they're doing is they're putting it out in the cinema for like a week, if that. But I'm sure when we watched Lilo and Stitch. I watched Lilo and Stitch with my son, and I don't know if anyone knows Elio. We watched Elio in the cinema. Pretty decent, by the way. Like, I'm not even gonna front. So yeah, watch Elio, and that came out on Disney Channel not too long afterwards. Like, I'm sure it was a week, if that. But something's even telling me it was even short. But I'm gonna go over a week, right? Anyways, the point is that came out, and then it came out straight on Disney Channel, Disney Plus, sorry, straight there. And you're just like, you didn't even give it like a month in the cinemas for it to just even, like before, you'd have to wait time before you could see that shit. You'd have to wait time. time before you could find even somewhere to even just watch that. Do you get what I'm saying? You're probably even talking like maybe even up to a year in some cases, depending on what the film was and that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so to then see, oh yeah, after a week it's just on Disney Plus. You're just like, rah, okay, cool. And because as you say, Trudon, like now with Netflix and Amazon Prime and what's other ones, Hulu and whatever else that people, Crunchyroll, obviously for the anime lovers and stuff like that, like, you know, there's everything is now online. And again, it's so much slop, as I keep talking about. You're just putting everything, you're just putting bare different stuff out, seeing, you're throwing bare shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And unfortunately, a lot of it is just sliding down, and only one, maybe two things might catch your eye. You might be like, oh, okay, I can watch this, and you know, rare tear tear kind of thing. So yeah, and like I say, that's just with the football content world as well. I think it's the exact same, you know, in regards to the kind of content that's obviously just being put out. And I just, yeah, like I say, man, I just want everyone to just do better. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to have to, like, I'll just start unsubscribing anyway. And obviously, like I said, that's just me. And I'm not here to just announce it and be like, yeah, for someone to watch this and be like, yeah, but why is he telling? That's not about that. I want you as a content creator to do better. I want you to do better. I want you to be better. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I feel that we are part of the problem. So if we can change it ourselves in terms of the kind of content that we're putting out, then consumers can then start, you know what I'm saying? It's a bit more nuanced rather than we're just putting out rubbish, everyone just tunes in and then that's it. It's like, come on, bruv. Like, surely we can do a bit better than that. Do you get what I mean? I wonder when the cycle changes again. We need a couple star players who come and break the mold of the regimented style of football, and none of these managers have the bottle to go against the grain. 100%. Totally agree. Totally agree. I think, listen, my favorite manager, and shut up, bro. I think, um, look, my favorite manager, I also think is one of the, I don't even like calling him a problem, obviously, in Pep Guardiola. Like, I think the problem is that everyone tried to copy him. I think that was the problem. You tried to copy someone who was great at something, and then you try to repackage it in your own kind of way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then that then becomes its own kind of thing, because now you just got bare fucking just reballs. You got bare, for those who watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like you just got bare little mini cells just running around. They're some of them are really good, some of them are strong. Do you get what I'm saying? And some of them probably could kick your ass, but the reality is they're not Cell. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're not as strong as him. And that's the problem. Well, that was the problem, you know, previously. Now, I just think that with the game, you need a Jose today. Yeah, you probably do. You know what? And everyone knows my feelings on Klopp. You probably just need like a Klopp to the Pep. Like, you need someone of that kind of, like, that kind of thing, right? But I also think that when you're talking about like the game and stuff like that, I just think that it's just we're doing too much. I think in football, there's just too much going on, too many things to like. You've got bare games in the, obviously there's two extra games in the Champions League, right? Pointless to me. You've got this whole kind of system now, obviously in terms of how the Champions League is. Like, there's no 24 teams can qualify. So you got your top 8, and then my maths is correct. You've then got 16 teams after that, right? So you got your 16 teams. It then doesn't matter that PSG finished in 23rd, as an example. I don't know where they finished last year, but just as an example, it doesn't matter. So when Arsenal, and I think this is, again, this goes back to conversations, right? When Arsenal fans were getting gassed, oh, well, we finished top. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it means literally zilch. Like, you gain nothing from being top. You gain the same thing that Donny in 7th gained. Exact same thing that the guy in 7th got is the same thing that you got. So there's nothing to be excited about. Nothing to be, like, maybe like in terms of just like obviously you want to be first in everything that you do, right? No one wants to be 7th anyway. So I'm not saying that you try to be 7th, but I wouldn't look at that as some kind of achievement, so to speak. I'll just be like, oh, okay, cool, finish. Like, we're through to the next round. Like, that's what that achieved. We're through to the next round, and that's the kind of, do you get what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing. And I just think, same thing with Liverpool last season before Arsenal fans start crying. Same thing I said is, bro, finishing first doesn't mean anything. Guess what? Liverpool finished first, got PSG, got knocked out. Now what? now what? Now where do you go? You finish first, you then get knocked out by the winners anyway. And it weren't like no bums. It's not like we got knocked out to fucking, I don't know, like Atalanta or Stuttgart or something, where you're like, bruv, what that, yo. No, you got knocked out to like to a good team, because it can happen, because it doesn't matter. That's the point. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's why, again, I'm not going to complain against the Champions League format. I just don't think it's that. I don't think it's gotten any better. Personally, I don't look at it and think, oh my god, this format is really, really good. Like, I just think, oh, okay, like it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? Like, it's just done now in one league as opposed to the 4, 5, 6, whatever leagues that we, or like small tables that we had before. That's it. More games being played. I don't know if everyone's saving themselves for the World Cup. I listen, the World Cup better be fucking aces, because if that is shit, bruv. Who was it? Was it you, Trudon, or was it Paul? I can't remember who said it about uh like, yeah, Trudon. Yeah, he said, hey, I've got about 5 years, got about 5 years or so left with football. I think I don't see. Yeah, I'm like, I was gonna go back to this. Yeah, like I'm already kind of nearly there now. I'm not 40. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm nearly there in terms of my thought process, in terms of the game itself. Like I have no interest in football like that at all anymore. I really don't care enough. You know what I'm saying? Entertaining will be shit. Bro, it's peak. It's peak. It's peak. If it's shit, boy, it can't be ends. It actually can't be. Like now I'm thinking about it, actually can't be. Because if it's shit, you might as well just package football and forget it. What's PK doing? I know PK was trying to do like he was trying to do a next thing with his football. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll do some research on that. I know. Was it the Kings League or something? Whatever. Maybe we need that. Maybe we need to just go into this new age. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we're trying to hold on to the values and how football was during our time of watching it up until now, and we're still trying to hold on to some of those core values, whereas the kids of today don't give a fuck about that because they didn't grow up in those core values. They've got their own core values, so maybe they want to, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Just maybe package it up differently. I don't know, bro, because I just can't see how having more games of football is a better thing. I just don't even see how that makes sense, because it's not like you've then said, all right, yeah, cool, we're gonna show more games. We're not. 3 p.m. games are still the same. Like we still can't watch those legally. Do you get what I'm saying? We still can't, watch our favorite, like our favorite team, the team that we support, when we want to watch them. Do you get what I'm saying? If I'm paying for a subscription, bro, I want to watch my team at all given times, every single game that they play, behind closed doors, everything. I should be able to watch that, but I can't. I actually can't. You can have BT. Imagine you can be paying for BT. You could be paying for Sky Sports. You could be paying for, I guess, TNT, same thing. You could be paying for, what else is there that they show for? Let's just say those two things. Now, I don't know because I don't have those two things, right? I'm going to say, let's just say individually, you're probably talking about 30 quid. So you're saying for £60 a month, and I can't even watch my team whenever I want. Like in terms of whenever they play, I can't just watch them all the time. That's crazy. Then you wonder why so many people are just buying these sticks and stuff like that. Like it makes more sense. Why not pay that for a year? Do you get what I'm saying? As opposed to paying that for a month. And I get other stuff added to that where I can watch any team at any time, any game. VPNs. How many people are doing VPN? Like how many of your favorite content creators are doing VPN like as their sponsorship and stuff like that? Of course. Why? Because we want to watch the games. It's what football needs to sort out. Is what I'm saying. Then and listen, this is a whole part of a next conversation. Then you look at like even the football games. So I look at like FIFA, Football Manager, absolutely shit. By the way, Football Manager is horrible. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And big up Paul, yeah, I hear it. I don't watch that much football anymore. I really don't. This is the least amount of football that I have watched in ages. Ages. I was telling Jerry earlier on, I think, well, like I was saying to you guys as well. I didn't watch any games this weekend. I'm watching the games for, bro. Like I'm outside, I'm just doing different things, and when I get home, I'm not thinking, oh, I want to watch the game. I don't want to watch the game. I actually just want to watch something else. I just want to watch something that's going to interest me, something that I want to watch, because I feel like at this point now, especially at this point in my life, I don't want to be doing things that I don't enjoy. Like I just don't see the point in that at all. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just one of those kind of things, man. Just one of those things. Give me 2 secs, guys. 2 secs. Uh, boom. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of them things, man. It's one of them things. Yeah, shorter times in game so they can play at their max. Okay, is that what you're saying? That's what PK is doing. Yeah, yeah. I need to do more research. I'll do some more research and check it out. 'Cause I heard about it, and I'm sure he did the game or something like that. And yeah, I'm sure he did it via like Twitch or something like that. Just watch France and Spain. Yeah, yeah, I mean that's all I was gonna watch anyway. I'm rooting for Spain to go and win it anyway. Now, facts, you don't even get to miss football. There's bare games, and you keep thinking, "Rah, can I get a break?" Yeah, 100%, 100%. And then, but the problem is, Covenant, is that you get a break from football. The problem is within that break. So what we then have, and it goes back to what I was saying about the AI slop and all that kind of stuff that people talk about. When we get to the international break, what's the main conversation that comes up? Hazard versus Salah, right? Boring. We've had it for time. But every single international break, all we ever do, or sorry, all we ever see is someone who debates older, like player from back in the day versus player of today. That's all that ever happened. It's the same boring conversation. Then guess what? Talk Sport, Sky Sport, BT Sport, TNT, whoever, all of them then have this massive conversation about it. You got Jamie O'Hara, who will just yap on, we know Gabby, but these guys just waffle for time, right? But they'll go on and on and on about this throughout the entirety of the international break. Again, keep pushing out narratives, keep pushing out conversation. Why are we having this conversation? Why the fuck do you care if Henri should be the Premier League goal or is it this? Who cares, bro? Like, why is that a topic of conversation? Why every international break? The thing is, it's an international break if I see someone who's going to somehow discredit Thierry Henry and somehow discredit just anybody. Any of the older generation of players, they're just going to discredit them in some way because this new guy has got 0.67 goals per game. I beg you, just F off, please. Nobody cares like that. And then what happens is us as consumers, or the people that are obviously the consumers of this, you then engage within that conversation. You then partake in that conversation. So guess what? You're then continuing that conversation. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You continue that. Like this is why I say we are probably a part of the main problem because I guarantee if we just didn't partake in these conversations, it wouldn't go far. People just inevitably just stop doing it. And your ends is right. The reason is for the click that drives the revenue. I know this is what I'm saying is that we've reached this stage now where it's listen, I don't know how it's going to change. I don't know when I don't know when it will change. I'm hoping that the good guys win in the end. The people who actually have good content. Do you get what I'm trying? I'm hoping that they last or they outlast the individuals who are just trying to make a quick buck kind of thing. I feel like that's how it's going to go, but I can't be too sure because ultimately it's about playing the long game with that, right? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So hence why, I'd rather try and play that long game and then you say in a few years' time or whatever the case may be, you're now sitting at the top through more authentic kind of content as opposed to doing the other way. And then those individuals who are now scraping the barrel because they've obviously maxed out everything that they've been doing and it's now a tired conversation, they're now completely gone. That's what I hope. Whether that happens remains to be seen, and I think it's going to take a very very big change in order for something like that to even happen anyway. But yeah, man, like I say, man, I just think football's in the pits. Football content in the pits. We just got to do better. We just got to do better. There's hardly any flair, invention, and brilliance in today's football. Yeah, you got like a few players, like a few random players. That's about it. It's really, really about it. Bro, even right now, the whole Salah thing is just tiring, but I get it because there's barely anything interesting to talk about. So they just argue about the dumb stuff for a quick. But yeah, that's what I said. I was talking about that earlier on. I saw it. I literally saw the conversation. I was like, bro, what? Like, so let me get this right. Yeah, Salah laughed when he came off. Salah, obviously, I'm gonna assume, but it's not really assumption. I probably know he had a shit game, right? Or him and Gakpo, but him specifically had a shit game, right? So he's come off. When he's come off, he's laughing. I saw the video. It really looked like a laugh. He looked like just smirking, but he laughed. It was just to appease everybody. He laughed, right? He laughed and coming off. Like I said, I then saw dissertation as to him, his character, and how dare he. And I said, brother, this is what you're conversating about. like I said at the beginning of this stream, you know you're in the pits when you are having a conversation about who is worse, Gakpo or Salah. I promise you, they are both whack. You don't need to conversate about this, bro. They are both shit. Get it done. Move on. I don't want a debate between Gakpo and Salah. I promise you, I don't want to debate about that. I don't care. It's not a conversation that's worth anybody's time, let alone my own time, but just anybody's time. You don't need to conversate about that. Conversate about something else. There are far better conversations that we could be having. Big up, Christian. United Everton game, that Ndai was a joy to watch, but it's 1 in 100 right now. Yeah. I like Ndai. I like Ndai. I'm saying he's just different. He's a proper street baller. In fact, and he is pretty sure he used to play for Rising Ballers as well. And go check them out. But yeah, he's a proper, really good player. Really good player. But he's the type of player that I just, like Everton will probably be the biggest club that he'll probably play for in England. Just one of them. That's just how it'll go. I'm saying managers don't want that kind of, you know what I mean? They need someone, even look at Eze. You know what I'm saying? I know Eze obviously scored. Yeah, he scored against Spurs, but where's he been for the last God knows how long? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a player who had and obviously it's different because you're at a bigger team, right? But this is a player whose playing style and stuff like that, it's the reason why Arsenal, well, I would have assumed why they decided to sign him. And then you look at it and you think, looking a bit, just can't be that cog in the machine. I blame the academies, stifling creativity, artistry, genius, unpredictability, such as those with high technical ability in 1v1 situations that add excitement by creating something out of nothing. I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I know. I agree with that as a whole, actually. Yeah, I think from what I've seen in with academies and stuff like that, I think they do quite a lot. Listen, there's a lot of sneaky stuff with academies, man. A lot of sneaky stuff. You got things like, can I even say, you got little things like like an academy can have like a player, right, who might be, I don't know, 16. Now we'll say 16. They might have a player who's 16, but he's playing maybe a couple years. Maybe he's playing in the under 18s, maybe even the under 21s, right? Or he's good enough to play in the under 21s. They will move him up to that age group and not play him. And that means now he's not playing in his age group and he ain't playing in the other age group. He's just not playing anywhere. He's just floating between. He trains with bro. They might even train with the first team. Why? Because we don't want, you know what I'm saying? We don't want other people to sign this guy and blah, 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 which inevitably will obviously stifle his progression as a player. But that's a different conversation to what I'm saying here. I do think in terms of like the loan system, there was something I did think about a while back in terms of, I think the academies encourage them to express themselves. It's when they make the next steps is when that gets pushed out. Yeah. Totally agree with what N said there. Totally agree. One thing I was thinking about was about like the loan system, right? I don't know how you would do it, and I would actually need to really sit down and think. This was just something that like a flyby thought, right? There needs to be almost like a league specifically for loan players. So you would have a team, or there would be teams. So I don't know, however many teams, right? In every country and in every kind of league, right? So it really can only probably really do this for like the top leagues, right? So let's say, as an example, like the top 5 leagues, right? They will have their own leagues, but within those own leagues, there will almost be like a loan team. So you might have 10 loan teams in that, like say, who are playing in the Premier League, as an example, right? And that team will participate. within the Premier League. It'll just be this one lone team. They don't get relegated. They're just, yeah, they're just there. They're specifically there purely for the fact of playing games against Premier League teams. There is no relegation, blah, 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 right? I don't know how you would do it. It's just an idea I'm throwing out there. Maybe someone can latch onto the idea. Maybe you can add, take away, whatever. But it was just an idea I was thinking about, because I was thinking about, you see how like Barcelona B or Real Madrid, the Castilla team, right? They can't get promoted even if they win the Segunda division, right? They can't get promoted. So they still play against teams in that division, still get 3 points, six, whatever, but they can't ever get promoted because Barcelona obviously are in that league. So I was like, maybe you could do that for like a loan team. So then teams could loan players to this specific team, right? And there has to be it could be, I don't know, like maybe you can swap them out after a period of time, like something in order to get players basically to be able to play is basically where I'm getting at. So that everybody, so that where you've got your Rios, your Treys, and by the way, that's just me talking about Liverpool. There's bare other players in the Premier League who are just sitting there not playing games, and then and then you expect them to just jump in to the team. Yeah, come first team game, boom, boom, boom. And no, like, how's that gonna work? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know how you would do it. I really don't know how you would do it, but I would love to see something like that where teams can loan these players to this team or teams. It can be more than one, but you loan players to this team, and then boom, ain't Barca be just the academy? Like imagine Liverpool under 21s in League One. No, it's not just the academy. That's what I'm saying. They're a team itself. Barcelona are actually a team. Barcelona B, sorry, they're actually a team. They play matches, and you know what I'm saying? Like they got their whole kind of thing. Unless it's changed. But yeah, for example, my son goes away next month to play in the Spain Cup. So he'll play versus Barcelona, Madrid, etc. And it's all systems, but they have got players that are really good, but they will have to play the system where, yeah, of course. Of course. You know what I'm saying? It just obviously with those kind of teams, well, I can't really speak for Real Madrid because they don't really have a system. And yeah, of course, now big up to Enz and big up to his son, of course. Real Madrid don't really have like a system kind of thing from youth up, right? That there is no system. But you feel talking about say Barcelona, right? Barcelona have a way of playing that goes from youth to the first team. Same thing that gets done at youth is the same thing. So they get taught to do that. In other countries and other teams, they don't have that. And this is why I feel like certain teams will always be able to produce academy players. Why Ajax, Dortmund, all of these type of teams can always produce Benfica. They can always produce these kind of players because their club is the system. That like whatever the system is, whatever the ethos is, their club is that. It's got nothing to do with the manager. It's the club itself. So when other managers, as we've seen, Ronald Koeman obviously being the last one I can remember, when you come in and you deviate away from what our actual ethos is, yeah, it's not going to work here, buddy. Do you get what I'm saying? Time's up, buddy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to work. So that's why a lot of these players, or a lot of these clubs, should I say, are able to produce talents for the first team. Might not be Lionel Messi or Lamine Yamal, but you can have a Fermin Lopez, you can have a Kubasi, you know what I'm saying? You can have a Balde, like you can have other players who are decent enough or good enough to, sorry, should I say, to play for the first team, or eventually then move on to whatever the case may be. But you just have those kind of players, and you're always going to have a massive conveyor belt. Barcelona, when they were doing shit for the last, like, let's say in the last like 10 years where they've not been doing that great, right? Kind of thing. In that kind of time, or let's say since Lionel Messi left, yeah, up until like recently when Xavi won La Liga. Let's say in between that kind of period of time, they weren't doing that great, but they were still able to produce young players. Boom, boom, boom. Ajax do the same thing. Benfica do the same thing. It's all man. It's all man. So yeah, man. Like it's just one of them kind of things. My nephew's away, also one of the best under 40 to express himself. As soon as he plays up, it's all systems. If you want to play first team in the future, yeah, this English youth system isn't good. Like when I say it's not good, obviously it produces talents, but those talents are always stifled. Hence why a lot of those talents end up having to move anyway to a different country, kind of thing, in order for you to really see that kind of talent, right? Or you got to be really lucky and be Phil Foden who's under Pep Guardiola. Other than that, I don't know many talents that I've ever looked at who've been produced in England and looked at them and really thought, yeah, it's a really talented player, and has stayed in England, by the way. I don't know many. I'm not saying there's not any. I just don't know many. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There are obviously some before anyone says anything, but that in itself is a problem for football. Well, for English football anyway, is that you don't really produce that many good talented players, and the ones you do produce, yeah, few and far between. Few and far between. Yeah, yeah, that's an interesting one though. That's a very, very interesting conversation. But yeah, that's something I've always felt though. I've just never ever looked at the English. Is that me? Well, you can't hear me. I've never looked at like the English. Let me even see. I've never looked at like the English youth system and thought, yeah, like, oh no, it's not. I've never looked at the English youth system and thought to myself, oh yeah, this is really, really good. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, can hear before you speak. I was one of those probably just lagging a little bit. Apologies. Either I'm gonna wrap it up in a sec anyway. But yeah, I like other countries because I just feel like other countries, their focus on the youth in terms of what they're trying to do is always a lot better. Is in terms of their focus. I just think that English focus in terms of just everything, coaching, the coaching abilities, the things that you learn as a coach. I mean, even when I speak to like Enz or a Jerry, and even when I just listen and I'm just like, yeah, it's mad. Like those two, I believe, yeah, they're good coaches themselves, like Jerry and Enz. Like they are themselves just good coaches because they've almost had to almost like read the game themselves. Obviously they've experienced it, they've played at the levels that they played at, and then they've had to almost research more about the game and yada yada yada. But are they learning from the system in that kind of way? I don't know. I guess you can ask them. Enz in the chat, but I don't feel like it's really that. I feel like it's them who've learned themselves over the time periods, kind of thing. Whereas I don't look at any of the English coaches like that. I feel like for other countries, Spain, France, Germany, most places, to be honest with you, I just feel like there's just always this conveyor belt of just managers because their managers, one, they get given the chance first and foremost, but also it's the coaching. Hence why you look at it now, people talk about the French league not being a great league, right? People say it's a farmers league. Look at all the players that come from France. Look at all the players that have been bought from Ligue 1 in the last 2 seasons alone. That's just me picking out 2 seasons. Coaching. Spain, same thing. Germany, same thing. Italy, maybe not so much, but you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It requires a succession of managers with exactly same style and personality, like the boot room, to almost carry on the project and establish the culture. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that one of the things Liverpool have a problem with, but also just one of the things that football in the Premier League has a problem with. Because of the money, ain't no one trying to get relegated. Everyone's trying to, stay in this Premier League because of the money. So because of all that money, you fuck a system. Well, man just wants to, I just need to win. It's not about that. And again, goes back to what we're saying. That's why now I look at the football and I say, yeah, the football's rubbish. Because now it's not about that anymore. It is just about the winning itself. So you're not going to enjoy it. But guess what? If we can just keep winning, we'll bring some more money in. Maybe we might even get a player. Every now and again, we can get one of your favorite players. And yeah, that's just what it's going to be like for the future. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then that's how they're just kind of packaging up football at this moment in time. But listen, man, we'll wrap it up there. Been talking for an hour. It's late. I'm tired. Got to be up early tomorrow. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts, man. Even if you're watching this on a replay and stuff like that, just let me know your kind of thoughts. And big up to everybody, obviously, who's been locked in live. Like, listen, I might do another live tomorrow. If I could be bothered, might just something, whatever just pops into my head, man. Stay locked in, obviously. Stay tuned because there will be more. There's more stories coming out this week. Obviously, I've got the website dropping as well, so I'll talk more about that later on this week. But we've got the website dropping that drops early March. So yeah, man, we'll have some of that to chop up and speak about. Now I learned myself, a lot of the coaches I know, they learn themselves. They don't like the FA coaching programs. It's boring. It's all about environment and creating the right conditions for players. This is what I'm talking about. And this is, by the way, this is Enz, who's been through that. I've not been through that. Well, not for about 10 years when I was doing coaching. And then I stopped because I just didn't see it as a viable thing. And I just wasn't that interested in it, to be honest with you. But that's whatever. Enz is someone who's actually been a lot further than me and is currently coaching at the moment. And knowing Enz how I know Enz and having the conversations with Enz, to even hear that. Same thing with Jerry. When I hear him talk about, when we talk about the game and talk about football and stuff like that, and then I hear the way he talks, it's like it's funny, and I'll tell you, Enz, here, it's funny because the way you guys talk about your the kids that you guys teach, that you coach, right? The way you guys talk about them in comparison to the way you talk about the game is almost two different things. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just funny. It's just funny. It's just like, rah, that's crazy. Obviously, you probably would, because obviously you're coaching and one, you're just watching and analyzing and stuff like that. But yeah, you can tell they're two different. You can tell they're two individuals who have learned a lot in the game. They've just learned a lot, and I'd rather see coaches like that in the future as opposed to just the same fucking generic, because he's Frank Lampard, because he's Wayne Rooney, because he's Steven Gerrard, because they're whoever they are, they're just getting coaching jobs. Like, where, like, so what's the point of Enz even going through the coaching system? What's the point of Jerry going through the coaching system? What's the point of all these guys? Check out Coach Kai, Coach Mateo. They are top. What's the point of all? What's the point of them going through the system when they're never gonna get jobs? They're never gonna get jobs. Never. Not maybe some of them, maybe one or two might, but you know what I mean? In a general sense, they're never gonna get a job. They're never gonna get a job because my name is Steven Gerrard. My name is Wayne Rooney. My name is Frank Lampard. My name is, my name. Like, this must be like an Eminem song. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, they're just getting the jobs because of who they are, not getting the jobs because they're actually good enough. That's the annoying part. That's the bit that frustrates me about all of this kind of stuff. They're not getting it because they're good. They're getting it because of who they are. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying they haven't done their coaching badges, but what's the difference between, is it because they played the game? I've always said this when it comes to, one thing I've always said, and I'll say this is my last thing before I bounce. You see players like Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, blah, blah, blah. You see why they fail at lower levels. You can't coach a level that you've never coached and you've never played in before. It doesn't make sense. Hence, prime example, I wouldn't expect Enz to tomorrow be able to just manage a Premier League team. As much as I think maybe he could go in there, do a good job, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't expect you to be able to come in and be like, yeah, he can just manage Liverpool tomorrow straight away, and he's just going to get us winning winning the Champions League. I don't think it works like that. You've never played at that level. You ain't got a clue what it's like at that kind of level. Like, there's so much for you to learn. You'd have to bring in like some crazy backroom staff of just experienced brothers who can help you through that, which is going to take a lot to actually kind of do. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that Enz can't do it, by the way, Enz. But what I'm saying is that those managers, when the Wayne Rooneys and stuff, when they coach at that lower level, bro, they fail all the time. It takes them time before Frank Lampard now with Coventry. It took him time before he's finally okay. So this is maybe my level. This is maybe where I'm at, kind of thing, as a manager anyway, before I get into the Premier League, because they've never played at that level. They don't know what it's like playing in front of 10,000, 12,000 on a weekly base on a shitty pitch. I say shitty pitch, just a pitch in comparison to the Premier League pitches that they played on, in front of the small crowds. The kind of pressure that some of these players are even under. Some of these players who, they're living paycheck to paycheck, whereas you as a Premier League player for the duration of your career didn't even know how much you was making. It's a different kind of way, bro. So when they come in and coach at these kind of levels and they've got their own ideologies, and even Thierry Henry, I love Thierry Henry. I love the way he talks about the game. But sometimes I listen to Henry and I'm like, I feel like you forget that not many, like, you're part of a 1% of individuals ever in the game of football who can do the things that you can do. But for some reason, you keep trying to tell people like, yeah, this, which is fine because we get to see that analysis from you, and we then understand it from your point of view. But I almost feel like he gets angry at players who can't do it. I'm like, brother, we're not all Thierry Henry, you know. Like, there's only one Thierry Henry. We can't all do the same things. I remember him getting onto Gyökeres about something. I was like, yeah, you're getting onto him because you can do that. Like, he can't do that. He's not you. He's not even close to your ability. So how I don't know. Why would I expect him to be able to do that? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. But listen, it is what it is, man. Guys, stay locked in. Stay tuned. I'll be back live again real soon. Yeah, all links are in my description. So football, other content as well. If you guys want to check that out. Stickman Dad is now out and about. So make sure you guys obviously go and check that out. Should be quite funny. I've got shorts will be posted out once a day, 5 days a week. Monday through to Friday. So the first one has been out today. So yeah, catch the next one tomorrow as well. And yeah, everyone have a blessed evening, man. Have a blessed evening, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace.